Call to order the meeting of the City of Columbiana Planning Commission for April 10th, 2018. And I would like us all to stand for our invocation and pledge allegiance to the flag.
Lord, we pray that you will help our commission members to make decisions that will benefit our community and make it a better place to live. Give them courage and faith to carry on their duties. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, would you call the roll? Here. Here. Here.
Brian?
Here. You all received minutes of the March 13th, 2018 minutes. Were there any comments on those minutes that you received? Hearing none, they'll be accepted as submitted. I am showing no old business at this time, and now we'll turn to new business. Is Walter Kukla here? Is that his name? Walter Kukla?
I don't believe he's here.
Not here, so, okay. Well then, just for the sake of time, I would have had his presentation first, but I want to turn to the site plan review. Greg Snyder and Jared Janelle, doing business as Birdfish Brewing, are approaching the Planning Commission. Approached the Planning Commission March 14, 2017 with plans to open a microbrewery at 140 East Park Avenue. The plans were approved. They now wish to open a brewery tasting room at this location. Greg will present the Commission with a PowerPoint presentation and overview of their operation. John,
Yes, I'm Greg Snyder with Birdfish, and put together a presentation, just a kind of an overview of since we started back in 2015 and kind of what we've grown to, and kind of give you an idea of what we look at Birdfish as our business and our model, and then what we see for the future as Birdfish Brewing Company. So you'll bear with me here. Got a little presentation for you and then a little video to go with it. But just the agenda for today, just go through kind of Birdfish mission statement, you know, kind of who we believe we are, go through, you know, kind of our business model and where we're trending as a business, and then the production facility, which is down at 140 East Park, what we currently have, and kind of what we foresee for that location moving forward, and then kind of what's next, and then if you guys have questions for us at the end, I'm more than happy to answer them. But you know, Birdfish mission statement is to use the finest local ingredients to create remarkable beer to share and make memories with the people we love and the people they love. So creating an atmosphere for, you know, anybody to walk through those doors and you know, kind of make memories with whoever they walk through the doors or whoever they meet as, you know, when they get there through those doors.
good mission statement.
But you know, kind of who we are. I have a short video that I'd like to share with you. It's a marketing company called Pebble, which is local here in Mahoning Valley, and they're pushing to really try to get out, you know, what all we have here in the Mahoning Valley area for people to do, and then kind of go through entertainment, because we do offer a lot of entertainment on Fridays. Every Friday and Saturday night we offer entertainment for folks in the tasting room. Collaborations, what we've done thus far with local Columbiana businesses and individuals to, you know, kind of a broad spectrum of outside of the area of collaborations. kind of go through what we've done thus far with our tips for a cause, and then kind of go transition into that expansion project and what we see for a future tasting room. So I'm going to go to the video. If you bear with me, I got to kind of get out of what I've got up there just so it works on the screen there. Click that here.
This VHS, Scott can help you.
VHS.
No, I don't remember it.
So this is a short video. So this is through Pebble. So this was just kind of an idea. This reached 20-some thousand people on social media.
7 years or so. Too many people were trying our brews and, really enjoyed what they were having and pushed us to look at the next level of commercializing it. So that's what motivates us as well, just to generate good beer for our consumers. My name is Greg Smager, and I'm one of the owners here at Birdfish.
A little less facial hair now.
Typically what our consumers are drinking, it's been brewed 2 weeks to 6 weeks ago. So it's a fresh product rather than something that might have been in a bottle or a can for months. There's so many different styles of beers out there. That's kind of where we challenge ourselves. There's probably not too many styles of beers that we haven't brewed. So just when you're out somewhere, you're sitting next to somebody that doesn't know who you are, and they're just talking about how great the beers are down at Birdfish Brewing Company. That's probably the most satisfying part of running a business and owning a brewery is, people when they come in here, they could be having the best day or the worst day, and it seems like typically when they walk out, they have a good feeling.
So, we started back in 2015 on a 1-barrel, due to the success and the support of, Columbiana and everybody around the surrounding area. We have been able to expand our production to a 7-barrel system, which is currently located at East Park Avenue. So I'll get pop back in here real quick. So just to give you an idea, so entertainment, just last year, 2017, we spent roughly about $16,000 just in entertainment on Fridays and Saturday nights. So people look at Birdfish more than just a music venue. They look at it as original musician venue. So guys that are coming in there's some that are playing covers here and there, but it's all local artists, true to what kind of music they're writing. And these are just a few that, kind of higher end bands that you may have heard of: the Vindies, Radio Larks, Demas Papademas, Lauber Brothers, Hayden Brook, Matt Falco. But there's, more than what's listed up here. We've got people coming from Nashville that have reached out, Atlanta, Georgia, that are running tours up through the East Coast that, kind of see the venue, whether it be on social media or somebody that they know that lives around the local area that kind of know what Birdfish is kind of bringing to this area with original music. And we get anywhere from 5 to 10 inquiries a week on social media of, artists want to play at the venue. So it's trending into more of a kind of an original kind of a place for people to go and, watch upcoming artists, as they're making branding and, kind of get to that point to where they're going to take off. Those are the kind of folks that are attracted to the venue that we're seeing. So it's pretty neat. And I think that brings a lot of business. There's nowhere really around that's doing this. People have live music, but to bring true original artists into a space and give that opportunity for folks, we're seeing that right here on Main Street. So collaborations, this is just sitting down and thinking of a few of what you see here. But on the left side, a lot of those are right here in Columbiana. A lot of those collaborations that we've done. We feel that is a big part of our business. What has made us successful is working with other business owners and doing these collaborations to not only get their name out, but, you know, within their customers, they're seeing, you know, the Birdfish brand of that collaboration, and we're seeing folks coming in. And a lot of those turn into Blast exclusive Thursday night kind of tapping, to where you're seeing a lot more people on Thursday nights coming downtown that you probably wouldn't see without doing the kind of the Blast exclusive. So we feel that this is a big part of our success, is just being open to collaborations with local businesses and individuals around the area.
I think that collaboration over the last couple of years has not only helped you, but I think it's sparked a lot of the growth that we have going on in the whole town.
Right. I wanted to put this up here as its own slide. You know, we were just on 21 First News, WFMJ. I think it was Sunday when it was published with those guys. But this is something that we really pushed from the beginning with a couple other breweries around the area to try to bring kind of a group of brewers, business owners together to what can we do to try to, you know, just help everybody out. So it started as just a monthly meeting, you know, guys that were up and coming, that their breweries weren't, you know, open yet, and they were going through the whole federal process, and you know, it was a time to where, you know, they were asking questions, you know, how did you do this, how did you do this? But after a few months of that, it turned into what we're really running with now, is this State Line Brewers Guild Ales and Trails map. So what this is you can see that, and to my knowledge, you can research it and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anywhere in the U.S. there's two states that have their own Brewers Guild. Usually it's a state associated club that local, you know, brewers from the state would come together, create their own guild. But this we've taken, since we're so close to the state line, we've taken the three counties, Trumbull, Mahoning, and Columbiana County, and then in Pennsylvania, Mercer, Lawrence, and Beaver County, and have brought the 14 breweries within those counties together to create this Ales and Trails map. So now, what people are seeing that are over in the state, you know, in Pennsylvania, to go through this whole, you know, you get a prize at the end, but now we're attracting people from Pennsylvania over into Columbiana because we've got this Ales and Trails map, to where if they finish everything, then they get a painting pack. But
Have you had anybody finish it yet?
not yet. No, there's a few that, you know, we've seen with you know, eight stamps. But you go to each brewery, you get your stamp. You buy a beer, you get a stamp, and then once you're through it, you get a fanny pack. So there might be fanny pack Thursdays to come, and you know, it kind of grows from there. But it is definitely helping businesses and other breweries for that foot traffic that maybe nobody would ever know that they were there. So it's awareness, it's getting the names out of all the different breweries in the area, and we're seeing a uptick in the foot traffic with people coming in because of what we're seeing here with the collaborations with all these breweries. And then the Rust Belt Revival, you can kind of see the map there. It's kind of hard to see on here, but there's different off-trail, bike trails, and as well as paved trails that people can hit and kind of navigate from brewery to brewery if they connect. So we feel that, you know, going forward, especially this year, it's really going to help our business. And then we're also working with, you know, trying to get sponsors from other businesses to help with printing more maps and just being able to keep up with the demand of it. So.
Maybe the local hotels.
Yeah. right? Yep. Tips for a cause. So this was something very important to us. If it wasn't for the community, we wouldn't be standing here right now. So typically, at least once a quarter, we look at some type of opportunity to be able to put on a Tips for a Cause event. And so what this is where us owners of Birdfish will actually be your bartenders that night. And all the tips that we receive that night, and whether we auction a growler off or what have you, everything that we make in tips goes back to that foundation. So we are roughly just shy of $10,000 just in tips for charity of the charities that you see up here with the breast cancer awareness, the Akron Children's, American Cancer Society, the Rich Center for Autism, National Brain Tumor Society, and then the most recent, the Walnut Grove. So up and coming, you can see we already have it planned, I believe for June, that we'll be doing a Columbiana Canine Unit Tips for Charity event at the brewery to help raise money for that, and then we're going to do another Akron Children's Hospital event, and then Ride for MS with collaboration with Pure Cycle. So that's kind of what we have in the works for the Tips for a Cause. But you know, like I said, if it wasn't for the community, you know, we wouldn't be here. So we feel that's very important with giving back to the community. So transition down to 140 East Park Avenue. So just to go through a few slides of kind of before and after, so you'll kind of see of how the building was when we took it over, and then what we've done with it, and then go through to future of what we want to see with the tasting room kind of on the other side of the production facility. So this is out front where you see the garage doors as you drive past right before the railroad tracks, right before, well, it was Rocky's gym, now it's my gym, but those are the doors. So we were, there was some water issues with the space, with water coming in with heavy rain. So we poured concrete out front, did a nice slope to where the water was running away from the building. And then, so this is the production facility. So kind of in that video, we were brewing on a 1-barrel. Now we're brewing on a 7-barrel system. So you can kind of see the space at which it was prior to renovations and bringing in local contractors and to do the work. But now you can see up in the top right picture of how it sits today. So we have a production, our brew house on the right there. It's a 3-system brew house, and our fermenters sit against the, you see the Mr. Walk-in door. That's our walk-in cooler. Yeah, so we've got 4 fermenters, 7-barrel fermenters that sit right there. And this facility is set up to take on 8 more of the 7-barrel fermenters that you see right here. So that's a 7-barrel fermenter. So over top of this grading here, that's a drain. We've got drop downs ready for our glycol system to take on expansion of 8 more of these guys. So with total production, we could be roughly just out of this space here, right around 5,000 gallons a month, producing just out of this space right here.
And what would that produce you as far as all the other breweries together? I mean, would you guys run a larger one to the 14? Or?
Yeah, so if you look at, you can say we have the second largest system out of the 14 roughly, but Paladin has a bigger system, but they only brew on it so often.
Okay.
So we actually brewed more in volume with a lesser system than they did with a 15-barrel system. So they've got a double-size system, but the amount of times they brew, we're brewing all the time, so it's just, this is just another view looking out through the doors, kind of what you see there with what we've done with the space. But all, you know, all the electrical work, redid all that, all new LED lighting, poured a whole new floor there with the drainage. Tucker Cope actually, was one of the contractors down there on that job, so, you know, that's one of the things too. You know, this system came from Portland, Oregon. We did look at a manufacturer out of Canton. Thank God we didn't go through with them because they filed bankruptcy, but, you know, we're always looking at, you know, if we can buy local, use local vendors, that's something. If we can keep the money here within the town, that's what we're gonna do, so. And then just, gives you an idea, so, where this little, I guess it was an old office, per se, arts office, but going back through there, that has been taken out, and now that's where our grain room is. So, this room is on the opposite side of this wall. So you see this pipe coming out, that's the grain auger. So that's the mill that crushes all the grain. It goes up through this auger, out here, and then it drops down into our mash tun kettle in our brew house. So you have this, it should have been with your handouts there, but, so this is kind of what we have permitted with the state down there at East Park. So here is what we just went through with our production facility, and then we've also have this permitted with the state. So we're looking at kind of, you know, creating a future tasting room to be able to have patrons come in, you know, our bars here, be able to drink on premise here and actually come through these doors and be able to see our system, the 7-barrel system, because that's what your beer geeks want to see. So it's, you know, being able to get that to them is definitely a plus. So, so going through these slides, what I did was I kind of took a shot of the image down at East Park Avenue. I blew up off of your schematic that you have in front of you, and then kind of brought that together with what we did on Main Street. To try to, our plan is to basically take that same vibe, that same look on Main Street, and bring it down to East Park Avenue. So here you see future tasting room. You know, you can kind of image, you know, tables, kind of that warm, rustic feel. That's what we're going to be bringing down with the renovations and everything down to East Park.
How many people are you hoping to hold in the tasting?
So we've actually, you have that in front of you as well. So we already do have occupancy. Now, occupancy is that we currently have, with Jay coming down and evaluating the space, is for this space right now. So with future tasting, you know, we could potentially be double. So right now, if we were just to not put any tables into the production facility, we're at 265 people for occupancy. And, you know, just judging by the space, you know, if we were not to have tables and chairs, you would be double that. So, you know, with tables and chairs, you're looking at 88 here. So, you know, essentially, you know, 150 people that we could potentially have just inside, not including any kind of patio that we might add in the future as well. Which is huge for us, because that is one thing that right now, when patrons, we get it so much when they drive by and they see on Main Street, as busy as it is, they just keep on driving. So we're definitely losing, you know, people coming in and seeing us, whether it be the first time or the 40th time, they're still driving by. So, being able to have a space that kind of overflow, but also offer different options, you know. But this space down here essentially could be more of, you know, since we started, we've brewed 125 different beers. So you can do that on a 1 barrel. With a 7 barrel, obviously you've got more production, you gotta push it. So this new tasting room is essentially maybe more of your flagship beers that you're gonna see, maybe 15 beers on tap that are kind of always the same. And then Main Street, you know, who knows, it could turn into a sour house, to where it's something totally different than what you're doing down on East Park, to still drive people up in that space, but have something totally different to offer for your folks.
Maybe you should become a whiskey distillery.
That's been talked about. Yeah, maybe we might be standing here in a year.
Sounds like it's more than been talked about.
Yeah, it's in the works maybe, but, so this, I kind of pulled an image, so if you can kind of envision that back wall that you see where the kegs are stacked up, kind of envision that's where all the taps are at, and then the bar kind of comes out and comes around, to just give you an idea. And then our cold room, which would be on the opposite side of that wall, that's where our cold kegs would be stored, which we would be serving from. So. And then, you know, down there we're looking at essentially putting in the capabilities of having 3 different restrooms. So kind of this space here being blocked off, and then a wall that kind of walks into essentially kind of a hallway. You got 1 door, 2 door, and then that back door would be your handicap accessible restroom. So definitely more than what we've got currently on Main Street. So kind of give you an idea of what's next for Birdfish as a company. We're in the works right now with Boom Boom Mancini, working with him at coming up with a beer that essentially could be released in a few months. Working with the park to do a collaboration with Harvey Firestone Park right here, to where we can give money back to the project that's going on there in the park. Like I mentioned with the K9 unit, that's already set for June. And then, you know, up here, we're working with local Ohio distilleries, getting barrels and doing barrel aging beers currently. And then we've got a canner that we've got 5,000 cans that we got in, so we're looking at doing some canning as well. You know, mostly selling out of the tasting room, maybe specific areas around the area, getting them in as well, and then continuing just the local collaborations. The picture here you see is with Lamppost Farm, so they're actually growing hops for us currently, so we do a big collaboration with them every year where we have an event out at the farm. Great event for kids and the whole family to come out and really, you know, see what a hop is and be able to smell them and pick them, and then we take them back and actually brew a fresh hop beer with them. So it's pretty neat.
Have you thought at all about putting a special beer together for Firestone's birthday this year? Special?
No, but we can talk about that.
Imperial Harvey's.
We can. Yeah.
We have a Harvey's finest ale, which is after Harvey's Firestone, Yeri and Quality Malt in Waterford. They would do an Imperial version.
Yeah. Yeah.
When's the celebration for that? Firestone's birthday?
I think they're talking about doing something in June.
And we are dog friendly. But no, like always, we definitely, you know, this is a place of, you know, the best place to start a business, grow a business, I moved my family here downtown, right on Main Street. Josh lives here downtown. Jared's looking at a house here, so, great community to live in and to, start a business and grow a business, so, kind of next steps, like I said, we're looking at, expanding, just to be able to grow our business. And, with that East Park Avenue expansion of the kind of second tasting room, which is gonna be a little bit different than what Main Street's gonna be, because we're still looking at keeping that space on Main Street. And I think there's different things you can do business-wise to make that work. And then just have 4 times the space at East Park to be able to bring in, even more folks down to the area, so. Yeah, that's all I got.
That's it.
I was hoping, 40 minutes, did I hit it?
We'll make it last.
Yeah.
Thanks, please.
First of all, I'd like to, thank you gentlemen for coming tonight and making this excellent presentation. And, it looked like a commercial was going on for Columbiana a few minutes ago, and we do appreciate you gentlemen wanting to move to the city and grow your business here. We love it, and, we want to be as supportive as we can. If there's any comments anyone has up here?
We just have some questions. What kind of permits and whatever are you gonna need for that building?
So, our licenses falls under an A1C brewer's license through the state of Ohio, so we've already been granted that. That allows us to brew beer down there, but that also allows us to sell commercially, on-premise, deliver kegs, and that sort of thing. So, it's the same license that we have on Main Street. It's actually, we had to apply for a second license down there, so it's the same exact license, an A1C brewer's
Okay,
license.
but there's a license for different addresses.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I need to
Yeah.
know.
And you can retail, you now have the permission already to retail.
Yeah.
Or-
Yep. Yeah, it all falls under that A1C.
I mean, as a planning commission, we okayed the brewing aspect of that before you bought the equipment, right?
Yeah.
And you
Right.
can-
Yeah, 'cause
Well,
we
we
kinda,
did-
yeah.
I mean, what,
Not the tasting fee.
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We need to, you talked to us about production.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it was presented as the start, we were looking at off-site production with a tasting room to follow, is the way it was presented at the time.
right,
Because all that falls under that A1C.
but we gotta do it.
When are you looking to open up the tasting room? Do you have a schedule on that?
Full time, I mean, you could be 6 months from now. Special events, that's kind of, why we're here, almost for an overflow of, if we get a lot of feedback for an event, say, Cinco de Mayo that's coming up, that, social media, that we're getting a lot of feedback that, people are coming, we only have so much space up top, and, we definitely lose, just St. Patrick's Day, for instance, we had people coming, or the Big Labruski Fest, we had people coming from Michigan, out of state, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, to come to the event, because it's something that's local enough that, not everybody's doing a Big Labruski Fest, that, come that time of year, people are looking at, that fall of that movie, are looking for an event like that, so, just talking with, at least, the coffee shop generations and other businesses downtown, those couple of weekends, they even seen an uptick in business, just because of the amount of people that were being attracted downtown for those special events.
It was entertaining to see people walking in the roads.
Yeah.
I would just like to add a few comments in that I actually remember Josh and Jared
and you may have been involved as well, Greg, but you never showed up on the retail sales outside the
Right.
garage. But wherever you started brewing beer, I used to, partake in a game of gin rummy or something, or whatever we did there, and these boys were just brewing out of a garage then? Is that what you guys were doing?
Yeah.
They'd bring these growlers up to sell at our poker game. And it was so cool, we
Gin
thought.
rummy.
Yeah, gin rummy, whatever, we played a little poker once.
Technically, we thought you were donating to the next stack.
Yeah.
They were donating, there was no retail sale going on, there's no back tax realization. With that said, we were doing what we were doing, having fun, and these guys, you were out of high school, I guess, or maybe you were still in high school.
Yeah, we were started brewing in 2010, homebrewing.
Okay, so they would bring these growlers up, and we thought nothing more than, they got a little passion, and they'll always be brewers out of it, but then we realized, look what they've done today.
Right.
And their commitment from not only staying local, but they're buying homes, they live in the community. And I'm happy to say that, one of our new owners on Main Street who bought the old, the bed and breakfast?
Oh, no.
The bed and breakfast.
I bought the
They-
Hoover.
he bought
Okay,
it.
yeah, you bought the Hoover home.
Yeah, I got $150.
But the bed and breakfast owner is a prominent citizen, now a good kid. He graduated my son from Lone College, and he's remarrying, and they're having a golf outing this forthcoming week, and I'm happy as heck because I'm gonna get to see my son for when he's done with these guys. But they're also gonna have their nightcap the whole night, probably in the afternoon and evening with these guys, and it's all set up that they're coming in. I think there's 50 of them on this season, so probably 5 or 6, but they're looking forward to it. So that's good stuff,
Oh, yeah.
So, we appreciate your commitment to the community, and you guys are all good guys, and what a great presentation, Greg, thank you.
Yep.
It's nice to see stuff happening on Main Street.
Absolutely.
There's activity and there's a reason to come downtown. Just have to admit, I discovered something at your, place of business on Saturday that I was disappointed I hadn't discovered before. You have this Weiss Hefeweizen, which is my absolute favorite new beer. and I like to see on a tap a little bit more often. I already finished my 64 that I got on Saturday.
They bring samples.
Well, so what do we have to do then to
We would need to,
get them?
approve the site plan as submitted this evening, that includes the tasting room.
Right.
In the interim, just so that we know, I think part of what sparked the conversation during these overflow events, we're not gonna be doing anything more with like the outdoor restrooms and whatnot.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, are those restrooms done
It's gone.
inside?
No, the porta john?
Well, what about the?
Yeah, we
you showed
have, we do have one it's done.
It's
So,
functional.
yep.
I think, just to piggyback there a little bit, you guys could hit home run any time with your promotions, like, extra events, and because of what you have on Main Street. So I think our point is maybe to focus on getting those restrooms up and running. Therefore, it's not about the whole place being finished, it's
Right.
about, you're gonna have a great event and be able to bring in 100 or whatever, 150 people. That way there's no complaints about, gosh, we can only handle this with 3 porta johns, and then you have somebody saying, what are they doing out there, peeing on the act?
Right.
I know I think your plan is probably to get those facilitated as
Yeah.
quick as possible, that'd be cool.
You want to say,
That's the number one priority on it.
Yeah,
is it
Before we, try to get this place open up.
perfect?
that's cool.
That's
Thank you.
Love to hear it.
Our main problem, I think, on Main Street is, we have to go back. People complain all the time, porta john, but the big thing is to get those restrooms in before we open up.
Thanks, Jerry.
Does your plan, involve doing away with the porta john on Main Street?
If we keep Main Street open, the porta john will probably have to stay, because there's only one restroom for the side. The other way is if, Don's barber shop closed and we took over his space, but we don't see that with our other space down on Park Avenue,
Well, it's covered now.
But with that, we have,
Well,
there's no blocks in, you can't see it
yeah,
from the
it's
alley
locked.
or, yeah.
I was just curious. Any other questions or comments? Your preferences?
I just wanna say, I mean, the first time I met you guys was at the wine festival. When you guys were brewing it, you guys should do something like this in town, you're like, that never fly.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of what you've done. I mean, the city has next to nothing to do with your accomplishments, I think, from your product to your marketing, and specifically your collaboration with the other businesses and how you played off of each other. I think you've done what most are afraid to do, and rather than worrying about competition and competing with one another, you've actually thrived off of it. And I think it is a testimony to your product and to you guys as individuals and business people. Your marketing is phenomenal. I mean, it is, you guys do it yourselves, right?
Yeah.
It is some of the best I have ever seen, regardless of product. The birdfish thing you did with the Irish and the clovers and all, that's neat. And I think it's part of what your gimmick is. And I'm happy that we get to go along on the ride with you, because I don't think this is anywhere close to the end.
And I think we're looking at 3 or 4 principles here, correct? And what some of you may not realize is Josh's brother is the 4th, correct? And he's a commercial banker, and he's got a lot of knowledge, he's a good established commercial banker, working with these guys in this business, and I mean, that's a great addition to all of your expertise and what you do, so.
And,
It's,
I'm sorry. I was just gonna add one of those comments that you guys have been good, and I wanna recognize that I know Greg and several of you, all of you, have come when we've had RCAP meetings, you've come, you've participated, you've tried to encourage your other businesses in town, and, that's been fantastic to see you wanting to help the other businesses, and I think that partnership is really crucial for the downtown development. We appreciate your help.
I make a motion that we, approve the site plan, as submitted with the tasting room.
second that.
There's a motion, second. Any other comments on the motion?
Bring samples.
And, Ian, can we call the, what we vote?
Yeah.
Donna? Yes.
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Okay, our next item is the site plan review. Walter Kukla, that's you. Eden Resources LLC, a private job recruiting service, seeks the commission's approval to have a private office at 131 North Main Street, Unit 2. You wanna come forward?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your venture.
So basically, we are a contract recruiter for Chick-fil-A. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chick-fil-A, but,
Never heard of it.
we have contracts with them, all over the country. We've been growing, considerably, doubled in size in the last 3 weeks. And so basically, part of that has been hiring employees that work for us, kind of all over the country, and especially in this region. One of our struggles has been getting everybody together and maintaining the quality of the services that we offer in Chick-fil-A. So, basically, we're seeking to occupy the space. Private office, we don't actually, interview them in person or anything. Everything's over the phone and basically through virtual sources. We're not really looking to have a ton of employees in this office, but basically our core team, and that's pretty much the gist of it.
Can we talk about getting Chick-fil-A in town?
I can't imagine it'll be any kind of soon. I mean,
Like twice a week we could pick up Chick-fil-A from.
I wish it was close by here, but, the area just doesn't quite have enough people. Usually for Chick-fil-A to come in, they're looking to be able to do anywhere from $3 to $4 million a year, and that just, we don't have the populace here.
Okay, so you are, excuse me, you're a recruiting company? You recruit for Chick-fil-A, you assist them in locating employees, am I correct on that?
Yes, I guess that's the best way to describe us. So, and that's kind of why I bill ourselves as back to that. We're called Human Resources because we're more than just recruiters. We help with almost pretty much the entire HR front end for Chick-fil-A. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they, each individual location is individually owned and operated and functions as a small business. Even though they're owned by corporate, they all have kind of their business owner. And so because of that, they don't have this centralized recruiter or centralized HR for them. They have it for their corporate positions, but for the positions within the stores, there's nobody there to be able to support them in that. So for us, or for them, it's cheaper for them to outsource that. We work a couple hours a week, anywhere from like 6 to 10 hours a week for each location. And we function off of a billable hour schedule and offer them a multitude of services from all kinds of different stuff.
Walter, so it's free, any and all, Chick-fil-A brick and mortar stores are free game to you, correct?
Correct.
Do you have direct competition? Yes?
We actually really don't.
No?
I guess the only people that really are a threat to us, we compete somewhat because some of the locations use different types of applicant tracking systems, which are expensive, and they've already invested in those, and there's year-long contracts for them with that. So there's a huge commitment in terms of money and in terms of time for them. So that's kind of our only, we have a close competitor there, or not close, but kind of a non-direct competitor because they tie their money into that. And then we have another competitor that only recruits for leadership candidates. So we recruit for everyone, and our costs are very, very minimal compared to a traditional recruiter where they're charging on a placement basis. We're charging on a billable hour basis.
So, and you're in the same building as Jake, correct?
Is he the barber?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You going upstairs?
We'll be actually right next door to him.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of basically split right down the middle.
Okay.
So where are your offices at right now?
So we don't have any office right now. Basically, me and my wife have done everything virtually. We've hired employees, and all our employees have worked from home. And basically now that we have this office, we want to make them come in, be able to kind of keep closer tabs on them, make sure that our quality is sustainable, I guess is the best way to put it as we grow.
How many employees max?
So, within that space, I can't imagine that we have any more than 4 or 5 people.
So you're, 4 or 5 extra cars in the parking lot, which is sustainable, easy.
Correct,
easily
yeah.
sustainable.
I think that in the future, we were looking at opening regional offices, so we're probably going to, get an office at, other places as well before we would really need to expand this area.
Because you would grow exponentially almost in that location if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely already kind of, we didn't really expect to double in size in the last couple of weeks here in the time that we've kind of pursued this office. So we're already kind of looking at, possibly another office as well, in this general area. I'm not sure exactly where that'll be yet. But that's just kind of what we're experiencing. We haven't even really kind of dug into Chick-fil-A. We're only in basically the Northeast and Midwest. And those are pretty much the weakest areas for Chick-fil-A. So, once we push south and push further out west, I can't even imagine what we're going to experience.
How many years have you been in business?
Since October of last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you do before that, if you don't mind me asking?
So I come from a sales background. I used to sell industrial equipment, basically all kinds of different engineered products and services. My wife comes from a background working in Chick-fil-A and marketing for them, and then she kind of worked her way into recruiting for a couple different stores, and then they kept approaching her, asking her, hey, here's another location that we want you to handle, and it just got to be too much, and she said, I kind of pushed her too, that I think it's time to, open a business and outsource all of this, and we can really grow this thing, so.
How'd you pick Columbiana?
We bought a house here in October, and so,
Good
just kind of made sense that we wanted a closer office, and something that's convenient for us, so.
I just have to say this, when you go into a Chick-fil-A, you immediately, at least I do, say, these employees are really nice, very sincere, and very helpful. And I don't see that in most first fast food businesses. Is there something you do on the HR side to attract those type of people, or how does that happen?
So our process is very different than a typical, I guess, recruiter would have. So, especially, I guess, we're separate even from, you know, McDonald's or a lot of these other fast food restaurants. Instead of trying to push candidates through, basically company websites and then just getting them in for an interview or open interviews, from the second they actually make contact and apply, we add value to them. So we're contacting them and they're meeting, you know, or not meeting, but hearing a friendly voice over the phone. You know, that we're talking to them like they're a person and not just an employee, I guess is the best way to put it. So every step in our process of interviewing, scheduling them, friendly reminders and getting them, you know, I guess, acquainted with the culture that we have at Chick-fil-A, is all tailored to that. It's to finding those exact right fits for us. You know, that's the thing that I hear every single day. I'm fortunate that I get to work with a company that's like that. And, you know, that's why they hire someone like me, is because they know the value of someone that can have, you know, a good site for that.
Part of the business model, they're not open on Sundays, they don't have Sundays.
Correct. No Sundays anywhere.
You get to read about Chick-fil-A, it's a very interesting company.
Oh, yeah.
You can only get one franchise, you only own one restaurant, and Chick-fil-A pays for a lot of it, I guess, for the start, if I've read some of the literature, right? And they have like 10,000 applicants every year, and they only like issue like 40 or 50 new franchisee locations. And
Can you lean on them a little bit to get one here?
No. I'm not quite that big.
Thanks for coming, Walter.
I wish it would be convenient for me, but, yeah.
Friday night in Boardman, it was just so funny because we went into Chick-fil-A and the parking lot was packed and the rest was packed. And then right next door is McDonald's. There was like 3 cars over there. It's like, you know, it's just amazing. I'd love to read more about Chick-fil-A.
It's a crazy process that those operators go through.
Yeah.
Through Kathy, yeah, he passed away, about 2 years ago now, but, Dan Kathy is one of them.
they're double the sales of a typical fast food restaurant, and I know they're only open 6 days a week instead of 7.
Yeah.
It's really an interesting read on them.
You could open it up for $1 or something, wasn't it?
It's something like they
Depends how,
Chick-fil-A fronts most of all the money for it.
yeah.
It's a different other franchise system.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the site plan review
Second?
as presented.
Second.
There's a second. Any further questions on the motion? Hearing none, I'd like to call for the vote.
Donna?
Yes.
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 Tucker?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe if you show them town center, they'll reconsider.
Maybe one day.
Well, thank you for buying a house and calling me out. Hope you enjoy your time here.
I'm sorry, did you have anything to? I'm just a landlord.
There are no other items on our agenda. First, I'm going to start with many of the commissioners up here have a comment tonight. Is there anybody out there that would like to make a comment, suggestion, or observation? Okay, hearing none, call for adjournment. Thank you for all coming.